one. We'll see.
Okay, and when I tried the one on my computer, it just wouldn't do it. But yeah, you can go ahead and take us live. The mic
Okay.
working thing would never
We
work.
are live. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. A little technical difficulties, but guess what? We are here. Kathy Douglas is hanging out with us on today.
Hey.
Guys, I am super duper fangirling right now because I get to hang out with the one and only Kathy Douglas. Guys, this is Angel's Literary Cafe. We're hanging out with Kathy Douglas, and guys, she's bringing us her latest release from the Aspen Creek Bachelor series. Guys, it's The Rancher's Baby. First, she brought us earlier Valentine's for the Rancher. This is one of the first books in the Aspen Creek Bachelor series, and now, guys, it is this one right here. Kathy, first of all, you ought to know I was already all in from this cover. So guys, like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with Kathy Douglas on today. Kathy, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, I'm Kathy Douglas, and I write sweet small town contemporary romances. This is my 16th book, if you can believe it. I'm still having a hard time believing I've written that many books. And I have to tell you, Isaac and Savannah are two of my favorite. I know I say this all the time, but I really, really love them. They really need, they really earned their happily ever after.
Yes, I would definitely say that too. That if ever was a couple that earned their happily ever after, these two definitely did that as well. We have Myra Cook that is hanging out with us on today. Hello, Myra. Thank you for joining us at the cafe. Hello, Ruby, for hanging out with us at the cafe today. Of course, Veronica Lockett is in the house. Thank you for hanging out with us today. One more, guys. Tiffany of Tiff's Happy Place is hanging out with us today as well. Guys, we are super duper excited. If you don't know, this book is hot off the press. It did release on this week. It is called The Rancher's Baby. Can you guys take a look at that cover? It's like the cutest, which Kathy, that is definitely leaning me into. You know, we got to talk about this cover, my friend. Tell us about once you got notification and you saw this.
I was so thrilled. I really was, because, you know, I love the look on his, and tell me when you're tired of talking about this, but I love the look on his face, the way he's just looking at that baby like, I love this little girl. And I love the way she's just playing with her toes, because my boys used to do that whenever babies play with their feet. So I was like, oh, this is just perfect. It really does. And his hair is like I had envisioned him. Everything is just like I pictured.
I loved it. Yes, when you did the cover reveal, it's one of those covers that what I am all in. I don't even know what this book is going to be about, but yes, she has me at a cover. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out and celebrating with Kathy Doug, her latest release, The Rancher's Baby. And I know, guys, I can't help it. I keep putting this book up because I just want you to take a look at that cute little cover. Ain't it cute? Oh my goodness. Now, Kathy, you share with us a little bit about this amazing, cute cover. The Rancher's Baby. Was this Kathy's original title or her working title, or it just evolved? Tell us about this title, my friend.
Okay, so this one, I did not have a title for this book when I wrote it. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll be like, okay, this is what I want this book to be called. But for this one, I was like, I don't know, because it was so much going on in the story. Yeah, he was named the guardian for the baby, but then there was also Savannah's story. And so I was trying to think of, okay, well, what's their love story like? And I gave them Harlequin some titles, and then I don't know if this was one of them, because I'm not really good at titles. But then they were like, well, we want to call it this. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it works for me.
Well, it works, guys. If you've read the story, it works. The Rancher's Baby. Oh my goodness. So for me, and it was perfect, you know, for the cover and the title. It was like, okay, I am all in as well. And they are definitely giving you cover love in the comment section. Tiffany is saying such a cute cover. Myra is saying it's such a cute cover as well. Ruby saying love the cover as well. And again, guys, once you add the cover and the title together, it's just a perfect fit for it as well. Now, Kathy, for those who may not be familiar with the Aspen Creek Bachelor series or what have you, can you kind of give them a little background on this series?
Sure. This is the second book. Aspen Creek is a resort town in Colorado. There's skiing and snowboarding and ice skating all in the wintertime. And there's a lot of Winter Olympians who live there. But in the summertime, there's hiking, fishing, all of that. And it's a really tight-knit community. But in Aspen Creek, the actual town, but on the outskirts of town, there are ranches. And this is where the Montgomery brothers, the first brother was Miles. He was the first book. And then this is Isaac, who's the second brother. He's the youngest. And Nathan, whose book I just turned in, is the oldest brother. So their stories are in the Aspen Creek there. So they live on the ranch outside of Aspen Creek, but Aspen Creek is a town in Colorado. It's, of course, fictional, so I don't have to go there and make sure I don't mess up. But I just make up my own town.
I love that. I love that. Now, for you, Kathy, with like making up your own towns and stuff like that, do you kind of do like a storyboard? Do you use Pinterest to get an idea? Do you kind of map it out, where the things in the towns and stuff are? What does that look like for you when you make up your own towns?
So I wish I was that smart, but I don't. When I did Sweetbriar, that was the first series, and I never did. And so then you're like, okay, now where is this located? And I just do like general vicinity. So everything is in walking distance of everything else. But I try to visualize. I'm not very visual. So I can't really. I just try to come up with some street names and come up with where everything is. But no, I don't do a map. I don't do a Pinterest board. I just try to remember the street names. I will say, okay, well, the name of the street there's a main street in every town.
Yes, look, that is something about small towns. There is definitely going to be a main street,
So there's main street.
as well. Well, I love it, guys. If you are just joining us, let me just tell you, go ahead, like, tag, and share. Go tell everybody to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with Kathy Douglas on today. God, yes, I'm fangirling. Y'all probably see I cannot stop smiling. Kathy, I tried to match the cover. How did I do? I hope I did pretty good. With that as well.
You totally did.
Share with us a little bit about, you share with us kind of like about Aspen Creek for those who may be new to that. And guys, of course, if you haven't read the first book in the series, like I said, it is Valentine's for the Rancher. This is the first book in the Aspen Creek, series. And of course, her latest one, this one is the newest book that just came out this week as well. So of course, you will be able to get this book as well as the other one. We'll be sharing with you how you can get those as well as any of Kathy's books too. But Kathy, when you were writing the Aspen Creek series or what have you, okay, let's break it down now to the story that we're talking about, The Rancher's Baby. Okay. Uh-huh. What inspired their story, like this story?
Well, it's so funny because with Isaac, he's like he calls himself Isaac, love him and leave him happy Montgomery, because he can date a woman. He only dated like once, but they don't become enemies because he shows them such a good time. And when he leaves, they're happy because he has made them happy. But so he's not interested in anything. He's just interested in fun because he's like young. He's like 25. But Savannah has suffered in her life, so yeah. It comes up real early in the story, so I don't know if it's a spoiler to say her background or not. But she has suffered loss, so she wants to just be alone. And I don't know what inspired me was there was a movie I saw once, and it was like really sad, but for whatever reason, I just loved it. And it was about a woman who moved to the mountains. She lost her family and she moved to the mountains, and that's all she wanted to do. It's a real quiet movie. It's not a lot of action. But for whatever reason, I thought, you know what? I want her to have a love. So
Yeah.
so I thought, okay, well, here's someone who suffered. What would it take for her to open her heart again? And to me, what would open her heart would be a second chance at
Oh,
some, even though she's scared, because Savannah was really scared,
yeah.
which I
Yeah.
can't blame her because of what she lost the first time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Guys, we are so excited that we get to hang out with Kathy Douglas on today, guys, and celebrate her latest release, The Rancher's Baby. Of course, you guys know how we do it here. If you have a question or a comment for Kathy, definitely put it in the comment section. We'll be sure to include you as well. Now, Kathy, you shared a little bit about Savannah's background and all of that, and what inspired this story and things of that nature. Now, when you think about, and you can kind of answer this with both things in mind, when you think
Okay.
about your writing style and how you bring the stories to life or what have you, and with The Rancher's Baby, what, of course, we know we got Isaac because he's one of the Montgomery brothers or what have you, but what came first for this story? Was it the plot or was it the characters?
Um, and this one, it was the characters
Oh,
because I needed once I knew who they were, it was kind of easy to know what they, well, not easy, but it was easier to know what their story was going to be because
okay.
of their, well, for one, they're very different
Yeah.
and they have a well, let's put different, they're different now. There was a time when Savannah had been a life of the party, but that was in the
Mm-hmm.
before time of her life. So in that sense, they could be the same. But once I knew what their background was, I was like, okay, I can see Isaac is going to have to work for this. And since it's always been so easy for him, I mean, he just has charm and good looks. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, okay, all the women love him. So now it's somebody
Yes.
who is like, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't want to have anything to do with anybody, but I don't
Anybody.
want but I don't want to have anything to do with you. And he was like, okay, well now the chase is on.
Right.
So I like that.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, hanging out with Kathleen Douglas on today, guys, this is her latest release, The Rancher's Baby. It is live and in color, hot off the press, guys, as well. Now, speaking of that, it's interesting that for this particular story, the characters came first, and you have shared with us a little bit about Savannah, but can you tell us a little bit about Isaac Montgomery?
Oh, sure. Isaac is I think he's 25, and he's the baby of the family.
Mhm.
He's very good looking, very charming, and he's very different from his brothers. So because his older brother, Miles, is quiet. He was the one in
Mhm.
Valentine's for the
Yes.
rancher. And his oldest brother, Nathan, is kind of bossy and he's all business. So
Okay.
he grew up being so different from them. And all the women love him. Even the men like him because he's a good time. He's not
Yeah.
conceited. He knows he looks good, of course, but he's not shallow. But
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
looking for anything serious. But he never leads anybody on. Nobody goes into a relationship, well, goes out with him thinking they're going to get a relationship because they're not. He's fun.
Right.
That's all he is. He's
Yes.
a good time. And that's all he wants is to be a good time.
Right. Now, okay. Now we talked about Savannah. We talked about Isaac a little bit. Okay. Now, Kathy, can you tell us a little bit about Scout the dog? What did you enjoy about adding a dog and you got a baby in there too? Tell us about Scout.
Well, what's so funny is when I was writing the story, I was like, you know what? Savannah is all alone. And for her to just go from not wanting to love anybody to like, okay, now I'm gonna love this man and this child. I was like, well, no, she got to ease into it.
Yeah.
She has to ease into opening her heart and she has to do
Yes.
it in something that she thinks is safe. And for her, it's like,
Uh-huh.
hey, well, here's a stray dog that for whatever reason has attached itself to her. And so she's like, okay, well, I'll start with the stray dog. The dog doesn't have a family. I no longer have a family. So the next thing you know, she's pouring all the love that she has inside of her that has nowhere to go. She's starting to give it to the dog, which is to me her way of opening up just a little bit to see, yeah, I guess the love has to go somewhere.
Yes. Look, and even I love that part. It's just a little bit when she's feeling for Scout. She's like, Scout has already lost so much. I can't let him lose more. It was ridiculous to relate to a dog like this, but she did. She and Scout had each lost their families. They were alone in the world. Perhaps they could help each other. It would be good to have something to keep her busy, something to love. Loving a dog will be much safer than loving a man or a child. And guys, once you read it, it'll kind of make more sense. But like you said, Kathy, there, it was almost like easing her into it.
Yeah. So then she could be like, oh, okay, I love this dog and nothing bad happened to me.
Yes.
So, and then Mia and Isaac won't go away. So,
right.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
And Jennifer. Jennifer's like, Kathy, you're one of my favorites. Mine too, Jennifer. Mine
thank
too.
You, Jennifer.
As well. So, guys, you got you have Savannah, you have Isaac. Of course, guys, we had to talk a little bit about Scout. We had to give him a little promo as well too, because you guys, you'll fall in love with Scout too. So when you think about all of these characters in this book, adding the baby in there as well, which character for you was like the most interesting or fun for you to write? And which character at moments gave you pause? Like you kind of had to sit with that character and say, okay, what are you trying to say to me to flesh out and get out on the pages?
The one that was most interesting actually was Savannah. And maybe because she had so many levels to her, in the sense that because she had so much pain. But I knew that if I could get past her pain, that she could become the person, not necessarily that the person that she was, because I think all that pain, I don't think you get back to where you were.
Yeah.
But she could go, she didn't have to stay where she was. She didn't have to forever be sad. She could love again. She could be happy again. So to me, it was clear where her pain was. So that was, to me, that was straight up. Now, Isaac, I kind of got him too, but there was a time when I'm like, okay, Isaac, why are you acting like this? Because now all of a sudden, and remember and I'm not going to give it away. Remember he goes over to Miles's house and Jillian is there and he wants to talk. And they thought it was hilarious, the situation he was in. But it's like, well, okay, well, what's your problem? You get what you always got. So for me, it was like when he kind of started changing, I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, now I get you. There is more to you than just a good time. So,
wow.
I enjoyed them. I enjoyed both of them. I had to tell you, I have some who are like my favorites, but I think they are my favorite. Maybe because of how much they had to go through, or maybe because they're my most recent. I don't know. But I really love them.
And to be able to unpack both of their layers of pain and to kind of peel that back or what have you too was just amazing. So thank you for bringing this amazing story to us, guys. We are talking about The Rancher's Baby. We will definitely be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of The Rancher's Baby as well. And Kathy, Veronica had a good question. She wanted to know, how do you select the names of your characters?
Okay, well, I have like two ways. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, this is your name. And like when I do a proposal, like I do like 3-book proposals. So for this one, it's funny that you asked about this. I send in the proposal with the 3 books. And at the time, I had the names of the brothers and the names of the women they're going to end up with. And I sent it in. And, months passed, whatever. And so
Right.
then I was like, when I started writing, I was like, that's not the name I was going to use. So I'm going through and I'm trying to find the names because, I write everything down and I should like type it and put it in the file, but I don't.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking through all my old, like, I have this 3-ring binder that each of my, that's my first draft. So when I print it out, I make all my changes in there and I put like loose leaf in it. So I had done that in the back of another book that I had, and I was like, where are all the names? And I was looking on my night table. And so I couldn't remember what I had named these people. And I don't know. So I think I had initially called her Olivia or something. But then when I started writing, I was like, that wouldn't work. Then when I started writing, I was like, no, Olivia, it has to be something like, because of the end scene, it has to be something that the baby would be able to use. So I was like, Olivia is not going to work. So sometimes I'm just writing a story and I just use any old name and then it'll work.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's going to work. But then other times I'll be writing, I'll be like 2 or 3 chapters in, I'll be like, no, that's not your name. But I don't know what your name is. But I don't really.
Kathy, and you're so casual about it, like, that's not your name, child. That's not your name.
But so I don't have like a science. It just is like every book is different. Like sometimes, or like, I'm gonna let you in on a secret.
Okay.
So when I wrote the first one, How to Steal the Lawman's Heart, I had already known the sisters' names because they had to be like Charles, because the father was very arrogant. So of course his daughters are going to have his initials, and they're going to be as close to Charles as possible, as Charlotte, Charmaine, and then Carmen. And then when I was talking about when this was just a throwaway line about Carmen was having with Trent. And she's like, yeah, if my sister would have married the man my father picked out for her, she'd be Mrs. Rick Tyler. Well, that was just a throwaway line. Well, then I'm writing Charlotte's book. I'm like, and I really didn't like that name. But it was like, I hadn't expected him to ever come back. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm stuck with this. So his name is Rick Tyler. So, I mean, not the Tyler part I didn't mind. It was the Rick part. I didn't like the Rick part. But so I don't have a science, and I've tried to even like minor characters because they may become major characters and you're kind of stuck with them. But I don't have a science. I'm sorry. I just grab a name.
See, guys, you got a little bit of tea. Veronica, thank you for asking that amazing question, because we got some tea out of it as well. Guys, if you're joining us, we're hanging out with Kathy Douglas on today, guys. This is her latest release, The Rancher's Baby. It is hot off the press. It is definitely available where books are sold. We'll be sharing a little more about that as well. Now, Kathy, guys, has a little snippet that she's going to share with us as well. So I'm going to let her set that up. I know you guys are on the edge of your seat. I'm ready to hear a little bit about the Rancher's Baby.
Okay, so let me do a little bit of disclaimer. When we first started, I was trying to get my laptop to work, but for whatever reason, the volume wouldn't work. So now I'm using my phone. So I have my phone in one hand and a book in the other. So if I end up looking away, it's not personal. It's just that this is what I have to do. So I am going to start a paragraph down from where I had intended. So we'll see how this works.
Okay.
Savannah, this is the first chapter. Savannah was standing in front of the fabric softener, so she could have picked up the bottle she needed, turned her cart around, and left. Instead, she watched as a man set one bottle on a shelf and then read the back of the other one. When he was finished, he exchanged bottles and repeated the process. Then he grabbed his phone, and for a second, she wondered if he was going to call someone for advice. As it was already past midnight, she certainly hoped not. Then she watched as he stared at the screen. It dawned on her then that he was Googling information. She didn't know why that made her smile when nothing else in the world could, but it did. At that moment, he glanced in her direction. In profile, he was attractive. Straight on, he was positively gorgeous. When he saw her smile, he returned it with one of his own, then seemed to hesitate as if remembering something. He turned and grabbed the shopping cart that he had been blocking. He spun it around, and her eyes immediately went to the baby sitting there. The girl looked to be about 9 or 10 months old. She was looking around the store with alert eyes as she gnawed on a teething ring. Just the sight of the child made Savannah's heart ache. She needed to get away from the father and daughter duo. Before she could make her escape, the baby let out a loud cry and tossed her teething ring on the floor. The man instantly reached for the baby, who began to cry in earnest. The man picked up the child and began singing an R&B ballad. He had a nice baritone voice, but the baby wasn't soothed. Everything in Savannah urged her to flee, but her feet resisted. When they finally did move, they went toward the man and baby instead of away. "It looks like you need help," she heard herself say. She picked up the teething ring and handed it to the man. "That's the understatement of the night. I'm trying to figure out the right laundry detergent to use. The ratings on the mom blogs I've been following are all over the place, and there is no general consensus." Savannah glanced at the shelf and instinctively picked up the bottle of the brand she'd used when Tony was a baby. "Either would be good, but I would go with this one." He took the bottle from her and set it into his cart. "Thanks. I guess I was taking too long and Mia got a bit impatient." His words brought back painful memories of Tony. She remembered how easily he could flip between contentedly entertaining himself and becoming upset and demanding her immediate attention at that age. She would give anything to go back in time and be able to hug her precious son once more, no matter how fussy he was. Because of one drunk driver, she would never hold her sweet little boy in her arms again. The baby girl glanced at her as if trying to decide if she liked her. Then she sniffed and gave a dimpled smile. She was adorable and so huggable. Savannah needed to get away from her, from both of them. Savannah chose to do her shopping in the middle of the night specifically to avoid people, especially babies. Yet she'd come face to face with one. "I've seen you around," the man was saying. "You're living in the cabin on the Duncan Ranch. It's nice to finally meet you. I'm Isaac." The baby blew out a spit bubble and then laughed. Isaac smiled and reached out to wipe her chin. Savannah froze. "I can't do this." She knew she should introduce herself, but suddenly she couldn't breathe, much less talk. She forced herself to inhale and aimed a finger over her shoulder. "I need to go." Before he could reply, she turned and raced from the aisle, leaving her cart behind. She didn't slow down until she was sitting in the car. Then she lowered her head onto the steering wheel and cried. Okay, that's their first meeting.
Okay, so guys, they met. She met the baby. She's in the car. So in order for you to find out what happens next, definitely go get you a copy of The Rancher's Baby. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing and doing that reading. Yes, that she did hit us with a wow factor, right? She hit us with a wow factor, and then she left y'all sitting. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to go get The Rancher's Baby, so you can read the rest. Myra saying great. They're sharing about the snippet that you read for
Thank
us
you.
as well. Yes. Now, Kathy, before we go into a round of this or that, can you share with us, because I mean, you did touch on there was some heavy things that you touched on in the book. Both of them had some things that they had to unpack with some things that had happened to them in their lives and what have you. But overall, what did you enjoy about writing Savannah and Isaac's story?
Well, I liked giving them both happiness. Isaac, he was basically a happy-go-lucky type of guy anyway.
Yeah.
But I like that no matter what had happened to Savannah in the past, that there was still a chance for love and happiness in her future. So I know I think the book is still a happy book. There are sad parts, but I think it's overall, to me, it made me feel happy. I did cry in some spots, but I cried but I was happy for this.
and Kathy, it's totally that feeling that you are totally rooting for Isaac and Savannah, like totally.
Yeah, you really want them to be together.
Yes. I love that. Well, Kathy, we have to play a round of this or that, my friend. There is no right or wrong answer because it is all things according to Kathy Douglas. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's get started here. Okay, Kathy, first one. Big city or small town?
Personally, big city.
Okay. Audio book or podcast?
Podcast.
Okay. Now we're gonna talk about tropes a little bit, Kathy. Okay.
Okay.
Fake dating or siblings best friend?
Fake dating.
Okay. Friends to lovers or enemies to lovers?
Enemies to lovers.
Okay. Now, Kathy, we taking a trip, okay?
Okay.
Plane ride or road trip?
Road trip.
Okay. Okay. Look, Kathy, you had to take a sigh on that one.
Well, the reason so is because I'm like, well, there are places that I want to go that you can only get by plane, but you know what I mean?
Okay.
You can't get to Paris in your car, but then there's a lot of fun that you can have like on the road. So
Right.
that's why I say road trip.
Okay. I love it. Now on this trip, Kathy, where are we going? We going to the beach or the mountains?
Oh, we're going to the beach. We are going to the beach.
I love that. And guys, if you have not seen Kathy, she has been at the cafe before. She is returning and hanging out with us. But Kathy, you got to remind the folks: are you team tea or are you team coffee?
I am team tea. Tea, definitely.
Okay,
tea.
okay. I love that. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Kathy Douglas. Guys, this is her latest release, The Rancher's Baby. It is available now, and we're super duper excited that Kathy is hanging out with us. There is a giveaway. I'm going to allow Kathy to share with us what the giveaway is going to be on this evening.
It's going to be a copy of The Rancher's Baby. Now, you can get a print copy if you want to print out, autograph it. Personally, and of course the bookmark, which has this in all the books I've written. But if you prefer ebooks, you can have an ebook.
I love that. So guys, you heard that. It is a copy of The Rancher's Baby, either ebook or print, whichever one you want. If it's print, it will be an autographed signed copy by Kathy Douglas. There is a bookmark that will go with it as well. And Kathy, of course, how we do it here, I'm going to go up and down the comment section, my friend. You're going to tell me when to stop, and that person will be the winner of the amazing giveaway on this evening. Are you ready?
Okay, but let me make one thing clear. I cannot see where her hand is or anything like that. So I'm not choosing any one person. I want you to know that.
Okay.
So this is truly random. Okay.
So it's really random. All right. I'm ready when you are, and I'm starting to scroll. Okay.
Okay, stop. Did you choose somebody?
Okay. I did. Caitlin Word, you are the winner. If you will inbox me, my friend, whether you want a print copy or ebook, just let me know when you inbox me which one that you want, and I will get that over to Kathy so you can get your copy of The Rancher's Baby as well. Oh my goodness, Kathy, the time goes by so fast. Thank you for hanging out with us on today. It has been amazing to be able to hang out with you and talk about your new release. Oh my goodness, I'm super duper excited about it. Guys, as we said, this is the second book. The first book, and you don't have to read them in order, but the first book is Valentine's for the Rancher in the Aspen Creek Brothers series, and then of course the one that just released as well. Kathy, can you share with us how, of course, they can get their hands on a copy of this book or this one or any of your books?
Okay, well, all of the books are available in ebook. So like if you use Kindle or Nook or read on your computer, you can always get any of the books in an ebook. If you want print, only the latest ones are available new in print, and you can get those at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Meijer, Walmart. Some Walmarts, the smaller ones, don't have book sections, which is sad. But you can get them generally wherever books are sold. And you can get them at harlequin.com also, which I think they may have a reduced price, and they have the coupons if you buy so many books too. So that's where you can get them. Anywhere books are sold. All of the old books are still in ebook and always will be.
I love that. I love that. Guys, you heard it here. You can get it where books are sold. They are available in ebook and print as well. Your hand copy of The Rancher's Baby. And of course, guys, once you get a copy, take a picture, tag Kathy, send it to her as well. Post it. I know she would be so appreciative of that. And of course, guys, definitely make sure after you read it that you leave a review. I know that Kathy will be so appreciative of that as well. And so, Kathy, definitely share with us, my friend, how can we stay connected with you?
Okay, the best way is to go to my website. That's KathyDouglasBooks.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter. I send it out regularly. And it's not, I don't send it like every week, or the most I send it is once a month. So you don't have to worry about being bombarded. And you can also leave me a message. And if you write me a note, I will write back. I always do. And I'm on Facebook. And that's probably where I'm most consistent. I'm not really like a social media person. So, thank you. So I'm not really a social media person. So, you're not going to see me around a lot. I try to do Instagram, and that's it. But mostly Facebook. The best way still is my website.
I love that. And guys, we have put the website up. If you go to Kathy Douglas book. Of course, sign up for her newsletter as well. And guys, of course, like I said, you can see some of the books from her backlist as well. So definitely make sure that you are following her. Follow her here on Facebook. Follow her on Instagram. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend about the Kathy Douglas books as well. Guys, she has some amazing series with the Harlequin special edition. So of course, you can start reading the Aspen Creek Brothers series, and you can read any of her other series as well. Kathy, it has been amazing hanging out with you on tonight. I'm just super duper excited to get to talk about your latest release on today as well. But I want to allow you, my friend, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people tonight.
Well, first, I want to say thank you, Angela, for inviting me. It's always so much fun hanging out with you, and the time does go really fast. And also to everyone who's watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I know I always say that, but it does make a difference when people like leave a review or just say hi. Like a lot of times people just say hi to me on Facebook. Every morning I send my thing, and people do respond, and that it makes a difference. And I also want to say thank you. I appreciate your support, buying my books, reading my books, telling people about my books. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. I really do.
I love that. Thank you, Kathy. Now, Kathy, I want you, I know it's at the end of the show, but can you spill a little bit of tea of what on next? Because I'm thinking there's another one of the Aspen Creek coming.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's actually going to be, I just turned it in last Monday. I turned it in, and that's Nathan, the Otis brothers book. Nathan is like the opposite of Isaac. He's very serious. He's Mr. Businessman. And I can give you a little background on the story. I just submitted it, so unless they say no, don't do this.
Spill the tea, Kathy.
What the book is about. Okay, so Nathan, as you know, he's very serious, and so he started sending Miles in the previous book, making him go to all of the Chamber of Commerce meetings. So at one of the meetings, they decided they're going to have a bachelor auction. So Miles enters Nathan in a bachelor auction, which is totally opposite of anything he wants to do, but he can't back out or to make the ranch look bad, and all he cares about is the ranch. So he has to be one of the bachelors up for the auction. And Alexandra she had a bad experience with a previous relationship, and she has a daughter who's almost 1, and so she comes to Aspen Creek. And her new friends convince her that she needs to bid on somebody because she never goes out. So she doesn't want a relationship at all. So when they tell her that Nathan is like serious and all of that, she's like, yeah, this is the one I want because he's a one and done. We never have to. And he's like, okay. And just, so to him, he's like, well, this woman better know all she's getting is this one date. And that's it. So they both Neither one of them wants to be involved with the other. But of course, it don't work out that way. Because it wouldn't be a book if it worked out.
Guys,
So
did you just get some tea? Okay, so if you held on almost like, when you at the movies for like, the Marvel movies or whatever, and all the credits have ran, and then you stay to the end. See, you stayed to the end and you got some tea on the next book coming, Nathan Montgomery, in the Aspen Creek Brothers series. Thank you for sharing and spilling a little bit of tea. I love that. I love that. Guys, thank you all. All so much. And Rhonda, I don't know if you saw it, our author Rhonda Knight, she said congratulations on your new release, Kathy, as well. Guys, if you are just joining us, oh my goodness, we have had an amazing time talking with author Kathy Douglas, and her latest release, The Rancher's Baby, guys, is available now. As Kathy stated, it's available where books are sold. It's available in print. Definitely go out and get a copy. Make sure that you guys leave a review. If you are watching via Facebook, thank you for watching on today. And if you sent stars, I'm always so appreciative of any stars that you guys send. If you would like to send stars via Facebook, look down in the comment section. There is a shooting star. Click on it and send as many stars as you like. If you are watching over on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching over there on YouTube. Please subscribe if you haven't done already to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson YouTube. I'm always appreciative of that. It's been amazing hanging out with you guys on today. And as we always say, guys, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Make sure you get a copy of The Rancher's Baby. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.